Good evening. My name is Greg Ferris, President of Forney ISD Board of Trustees. I hereby call this board meeting to order. It is now 6 o'clock p.m. Certify that a quorum is present, that the meeting has been posted in time and manner required by law. These meetings are open to the public. Although they're open to public, comments are confined to the public time on the agenda. At this time, we're going to take item number 13 out of order, and the board will convene into closed session at 6:01. And we'll come back into open session. We're going to go into closed session under Texas Government Code 551-129, 551-074, and 551-071. No voting will take place in closed session, and all action the board wishes to make will take place back in regular session. Thank you. Well, good evening. Just want to share with you that beautiful music tonight was brought to you by Heather Adams and Emily Schultz. They're both fourth graders at Blackburn Elementary. Let's give them a hand. Thank you, ladies. At this time, we'll move on to item number 3, back into open session, which is our welcome and invocation. Our invocation tonight will be led by David Griffin, pastor of Sea Life, as he would make his stuff forward. Thank you very much. We're happy to have you as part of our Forney family. So let's all stand in prayer.
Stand together. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so very much for the opportunity to gather together in freedom today. We thank you for this country, for those that have served it in the past and those who serve it in the present. We thank you so very much for the opportunity to boldly proclaim your goodness and your grace, and I pray that that would just kind of rest over the entire district and over all the leadership. I pray that they would have wisdom and discernment. They would be able to make wise decisions. I thank you for those that have been made in the past, for the students, for their hearts. I pray during this holiday season that those that may feel dejected in this world would be encouraged by the human resources that you have entrusted to this district, and that lives would be changed and touched. It is in the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
You may be seated. We're not doing the pledges, or we're not? Okay, at this time, we'll move on to our pledges for this evening. Some of our students of the month are caught in traffic and aren't here yet, so just bear with us here. At this time, we'll call Mrs. Who are we going to have up here? Stephanie Leach. Okay. Mrs. Leach from FLA.
Dr. Leach.
Yes.
Newly Dr. Leach.
Thank you. Okay, if you'll stand and join me in the American Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
And if our students do come in, let us know. We'll back up and introduce them. Okay, thank you. We'll move on here to acceptance of donations then. Item number 4. At this time, I'll ask Ms. Kristen Zaspel, Executive Director of Marketing Communications, if she would come to the microphone.
Good evening. We are excited this night to present a donation from the Johnson PTO. The proceeds from their Boosterthon fundraiser that's going toward the campus. And we have Principal Nancy McElroy, sorry, I'm tongue-tied tonight, and Board Member Mandy Hood here. So we are providing this to you. It's for $13,093 for your consideration to go to Johnson Elementary.
Thank you for that. Board, you've heard the recommendation. I do need a motion because it's over our limit. So would I have a motion to accept the donation?
Mr. Ferris, I make a motion to accept the donation.
Thank you. I have a motion by Ms. Bateman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Burkhalter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Thank you very much, Johnson Elementary. Well, whoever is here from Johnson, let's have a photo to celebrate. Move on then to item number 5, that we have backpack recognition. Ms. Sastabul.
Well, before we present the backpacks, we do have a Forney Family Award. We actually
Okay.
have 2 tonight, and the backpacks
Okay,
are the
let's
second
go
one.
ahead and do the Forney family.
Okay, so our Forney Family Award this evening, I'm going to turn it over to our Director of Staff and Family Services, Nick Edwards.
Dr. Terry, School Board, the Forney Family Award is presented to people or organizations that represent the very best of our Forney community. This year, First Baptist Church Forney has participated in our Principals and Pastors meeting and has chosen to adopt both Griffin Elementary and Smith Intermediate. As a new initiative this year, we wanted to provide additional resources to our students and family with the greatest needs. After working with Kirk Lukey and Pastor Lino and our counselors, their church decided that they would provide hygiene bags to over 250 students each and every month. These students are nominated by their counselors to receive this. These hygiene bags have soap, shampoo, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, and several other items to provide for a student's basic needs and improve their self-esteem. Tonight I present to you First Baptist Forney as a recipient of the Forney Family Award.
The backpacks?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I'd like to share with you a little recap video. We have had a number of incredible partners from the community who helped us this fall. They were filling backpacks and school supplies well into September. And so we'd like to recognize them, and we have a little recap video to show you all that they did. As you saw, not only did they provide backpacks for over 1,000 students this fall, but there were additional supplies that were provided to all of our campus counselors for new students who are still coming in during the year to receive supplies as well. So what I'd like to do is call off the names of our businesses. Some of them aren't able to be here tonight, and we'd like for the representatives from those organizations to please come up and join us for a group photo. So First Presbyterian Church of Forney, Forney Community Ministries. I think Dana's from both of those. Forney Education Foundation, Infinity Texas Air, Rely On Credit Union, TVEC Charitable Foundation, Community Value Thrift Center, the Dallas Police Association, Poncho Packs, Carla Udi, Claiborne Elementary PTO, Ebby Halliday Realtors of Forney, the First United Methodist Church of Forney, George and Marcia Brown, Family Cathedral Forney, Kyle Properties, Kumon, Modern Woodman, Raising Cane's, Taylor Communications, and Water of Life Lutheran Church. Oh, is she? Oh, Purdue Brandon's here. I'm sorry. I have Elizabeth Calvo. I know she told me she was out of town. Do we have a representative here in her place? Huh? Perfect. Purdue Brandon. And we do have Forney Family Award certificates for you to pick up over there. Talana and Robin have them.
Hey, Ms. Sestable, we're going to take something out of order here. One of our students was able to make it, so we're going to back up as we get into the next recognition, and we're going to go to our Student of the Month recognition, and we'll ask for Dr. Stephanie Leach to come and introduce her Student of the Month.
Thank you, Dr. Terry, President Ferris, and the other members of the board. I am so excited to present tonight FLA's Student of the Month, Justin Collins. Justin is a 7th grader in our Aspire program at FLA, and he is an example of what we want every student to be. He set a goal for himself at the beginning of this year to transition back to his home campus. And I am excited to say that at the first of the year, he will accomplish that goal. He works every day to do better than the day before, whether it's completing work, his attitude, or his just overall helpfulness around the school. He is a champion and a mentor for every student on our campus, and we are just so very proud of him. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Collins.
Thank y'all for coming. Be careful. Now we'll continue with our student regulations. Ms. Sestable.
Huh? Stay. Video just doesn't like. Sorry about that. Okay, so we are excited to celebrate our holiday card winners. For the last several years, I believe this is our 4th year, we have had a holiday card contest. And so I'd like to share with you a little video. We had so many incredible entries, and so we were able to highlight quite a few. So some of our students did not know they won, and they are finding out just now. So we heard some surprised voices in the room. We are excited to recognize our category winners, and when I call your name, please come up. We have framed your card for you, and we've also provided your family 10 copies to take home and share with family and friends. So our pre-K through 4th grade winner is Brooklyn Parker from Henderson Elementary School in the 4th grade. Our 5th through 8th grade winner is Natalia Zapata, 7th grade, Warren Middle School. Our 9th through 12th grade winner is Jane Salgado, 10th grade, Forney High School. And our overall winner is Michaela Gracie Angala from 8th grade at Warren Middle School. At this time, too, I'd also like to invite our principals and our art teachers who are here up to join your students, please. Congratulations. And we'll be sharing that video out tomorrow via email, district-wide and on social media, so that way you can share it with your families. Nope, academic all-state.
Ms. Sestable, we have one more student of the month.
Fantastic.
Okay. Ms. Crabtree?
Thank you so much. Supposedly 80 is a mess, if anyone is surprised by that. So Kaylin is here with us now. Thank you, Mom, for bringing her. Kaylin Thomas is a fourth grader at Griffin Elementary. She's the daughter of Sharika Johnson. Kaylin is a member of the Griffin leadership team. On the leadership team, she's extremely well-spoken, responsible, trustworthy, works well with her teammates, and is always the first to volunteer to help wherever she is needed. Kaylin lives the Griffin mission every day. Grizzlies will strive to have a positive culture that encourages the growth of all stakeholders. She's a kind friend and goes out of her way to help, support, and teach her classmates. Her homeroom teacher, Miss Allison, says she is simply the best. I've told her several times that she is never allowed to be absent because I count on her so much. She helps with filing papers into students' boxes, lunch count, and Tuesday folder checks, and always knows where I've misplaced my coffee. I haven't had to ask her to do any of this. She just took it upon herself to be my helper. She is also quick to forgive others and always willing to volunteer to be a peer tutor whenever she can. She is popular among all of the fourth grade teachers as a model student, and I just love her. When Kaylin is not at school, she likes to spend time watching TV, jumping on the trampoline, talking with her friends, and acting. One day she hopes to become an actor or a lawyer. It is my honor to recognize Kaylin Thompson as the Griffin Student of the Month.
Now, Mr. Neil Weaver, Athletic Director, to do some other student recognitions.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris, members of the board, Dr. Terry, and guests. It is always a highlight for me to be able to recognize our student athletes who've been in turn recognized by the Texas High School Coaches Association for either All-State or Academic All-State. Our first one to come out every year is cross country, and you wouldn't think there would be long lines of kids ready to get up and be at school at 6 a.m. every morning and run 5,000 meters or more, or to sign up to do that in competition over varying terrain and any kind of weather. But we have great programs in Forney ISD. We've got 2 outstanding head coaches. We've had lots of great kids that have graduated from these programs. The kids tonight are no exception. They will be great graduates of ours. Coach Jeremy Moore and Coach Sandy Cook, if you would come up here real quick and help me recognize these young people. For North Forney High School, we're going to call these all up together, North Forney and Forney. These are seniors. They've been valuable contributing members of the cross-country team throughout their tenure in high school. Some of these kids have represented our school district at the region, obviously at the district level, at the regional level. They've been very successful. They're also scholars, and that's why they're recognized as academic all-state. From North Forney, the first 2, actually one of them is in a band activity tonight, and the other one's working. So they also are overachievers in lots of ways. But Corey Jarrett and Antonio Farr, unable to be with us this evening. But with us is Texas High School Coaches Association Academic All-State Gabriela Espinoza from North Forney. I failed to mention these kids are not just recognized for their GPA, but also for their SAT and ACT scores, as well as their contributions at the varsity level for their high school team. From Forney High School, Cynthia Sinkle, Braden Donahue, and Cassandra Pierce. Great kids, tough kids, and smart kids. We're proud of them.
I think that's all of our recognitions right now, so we'll take a 5-minute recess, and then we'll go back to the order. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to move back to our agenda now. Moving on with our agenda, we'll pick up other reports. Item number 7 is reports. First will be our 7A, financial report. Mr. John Chase, please come to the microphone. Thank you. Mr. Chase, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. You guys hear me? Can you hear me okay? It shows to be. You got it? Tonight we're here to discuss the monthly financial report for the period ending October 2022. Just to start off with, in the general fund, revenue year to date is $34.4 million, and that's 23% of the amount estimated. And for comparative purposes, in the prior year we're at 24% collected at this same point. So we're tracking along pretty well with revenues in the general fund. Moving on to expenditures in the general fund, year to date is $59.2 million, or 36% of the amount appropriated. And for, in the prior year, we were at 32% expended at the same point in time. And as we pointed out in prior years, this 4% differential is primarily related to capital outlay expenses between the 2 years. And so if you strip out those capital improvement projects, we're only about 1% difference between the two. So tracking along again in the general fund on the expense side as well. On food service revenue, recognized year to date is $2 million, or 31% of the amount estimated. And that $2 million pretty much breaks down in $0.9 million, or almost half, was collected directly from students, either for plate lunches purchased or a la carte items purchased through the food service lines. The other $1 million is collected through federal reimbursements for the reimbursable meals served, and we served 88,000 meals, reimbursable meals in the month of October. And again, for comparative purposes, at the same point in time last year, we were at 32% collected. So again, tracking along pretty well with revenues in the food service fund. Moving on to expenditures in the food service, year to date expenses was $1.8 million, or 28% of the amount appropriated. And for prior year comparative purposes or comparisons, we're at 24% expended. Again, we talked about this in the last few months, but it's very difficult when you look at last year and compare to this year because of the coronavirus pandemic and the impact that had on the food service budget. But if you go back to years preceding the coronavirus pandemic and compare that to the percent expended, we're right at about 28% in those years. And so again, we're looking pretty good as far as expenditures in the food service fund. And finally, in the debt service fund, the revenue collected for the month is $680,000, or 2% of the amount estimated. We'll start getting our heavy collections in revenues, debt service through tax collections in December and January. But right now, for comparative purposes, last year at the same point in time, we were at 1%. So tracking along as we'd expect for revenues in the debt service fund as well. And then finally, expenditures, year-to-date expenses, $20.6 million, or 60% of the amount appropriated. And for prior year comparisons, we were at 67% at the same point in time. And then last but not least, as far as cash and investments on hand at the end of October, combining the general fund, food service, debt service, and capital projects, we're at $471 million. And most of that, almost $400 million, was funds in our capital project account. So that's the financial report. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. Moving on then to our virtual academy report, Ms. Kim Morzak, Chief Officer.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Last month, I had Stacy Joseph come and talk to you guys about Ed Quass. I told you she was very busy at that time, and to prove it tonight, she's going to give you an update on where we are with our virtual academy. So, Stacy, Dr. Stacy Joseph. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morsack. Good evening, Dr. Terry, Mr. Ferris, and our school board. I'm excited to be presenting again this month over our Virtual Academy program. In February, I had the opportunity to present the starting process of a virtual academy, and tonight I'm going to share where our program is today. Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment and introduce Holly Malone back there. She is our coordinator of virtual learning, who has been my partner in developing and opening this program this school year. Through our Virtual Academy program, we do offer 2 different programs. Students have the option for a flex or a full-time program. If a student participates in our full-time program, the student will take all of their courses online and be able to graduate with an endorsement in business. If a student opts for our flex program, they take a combination of classes on campus and online. For example, a student could take band and advanced math on campus and the remaining day with our virtual program. All students have access to their home campus during the school year, including activities and programs that are offered. In our program right now, we have about 150 students taking advantage of this new opportunity. I'm also excited to say that we are one of the largest high school virtual programs in Texas that started after Senate Bill 15 was adopted. Since we do offer an asynchronous program, it meets the needs of our families because we are able to individualize the program for our students. Over the next few slides, I will share 3 of our students' stories and how Virtual Academy is providing a learning environment that meets the needs of their family. The first one is our student A. Our student A is a junior that participates in our full virtual program. Her mother is disabled, which makes it hard for the student to attend school due to the support the mother needs. With the student in the program, she is able to help support her mother with care and support her through medical visits. The student strives for a good education, and her plan is to become a doctor when she graduates high school and goes to college. Our student B, our second student, his father has his own business. The student would like to intern with his father in the second semester to learn about the business world. He attended school face-to-face during the fall semester and will participate in our flex program during the spring semester. This will allow this student to attend school in the morning, work with his father in the afternoon, and complete his virtual classes in the evenings and the weekends. Our third student is known by many of us in the room, and that is Kristen Zastapol's son, Brighton. I had the opportunity to work with Brighton last year as his homebound teacher, so I love that we are able to provide a flex learning environment for his family. Brighton attends school in the morning, including the opportunity to participate in our ROTC program. In the afternoon, he works from home in our virtual program. This allows Brighton to go weekly to his treatment and not miss school at all. Through our virtual academy, we still want to continue our district core value of relationships first with our students and families. These connections help ensure each student is successful. To guarantee our program is building student relationships, especially for our students that are fully virtual. Students have access to the VA classrooms during school hours, which are housed at North Forney. We implement Capturing Kids' Hearts through discussions on our online platform, and all of our tutorials and live lessons follow the Excel model. Live lessons are provided weekly for students to participate, and those that are not able to attend have the recording that they can go back and refer to. We also have teacher mentors with students who need that extra support to be successful in this program. Each student has access to video-based virtual office hours. This allows the teachers to see the student and build the relationship. We offer weekly tutorial sessions, which can be on Zoom or face-to-face. Each 9 weeks, we offer a full-day tutorial session for students who need extra support from our teachers. We actually house that here at the admin building. It's an all-day thing. We actually feed our students lunch that come up here. Our teachers are available to work with all of our students so they get all the one-on-one that they need. Our virtual, Our Virtual Academy program offers a different style of learning that meets family and student needs when the traditional school setting is not the right environment for learning. It has been a great experience starting this program and seeing how our FISD students are thriving in this environment and how we are able to support the family no matter what their life circumstances are. Thank you for your time, and at this time, I would like to answer any questions you might have.
Question?
Just curious what the numbers, do you know the numbers that are people that are in the Flex Academy and then the
Yes, we're probably about a 65-35% more of ours are flex and go on campus. Most of our virtual students that are full virtual are juniors and seniors. You'll also see the program, like we have only so many freshmen, and as the program builds, you can see that we are servicing more of our juniors and seniors as they are getting to where they're ready to step into that next phase of life.
No, go ahead.
Also, how did we incorporate this? I'm sure I've learned this before and have forgotten. On ADA, when we count them, what counts them present for?
You want to explain the ADA?
Yes, and so we do receive full ADA for all of our students. Actually, the way that the bill is written, our students only they have to complete so many minutes a week. So where a normal face-to-face student, we count them present first, second, third, fourth throughout the day. With our full virtual students, we count them every day for third period, which is our state one. The rest of their attendance is based on the work that is given and completion of work. So attendance for a full virtual is more done towards the end of the week based on the students' work throughout the week.
And just to add one thing to that, we have about 150, correct?
Yes, sir.
Enrolled in the virtual academy. But we all have about over 1,300, I believe, students taking some sort of virtual course in Forney ISD right now. So I just wanted to compliment Stacy and her team. They've just done an incredible job. This is just the first year of implementation across the state, basically, and we're one of the leaders and getting calls every day for other districts who are interested in doing something like this. And as you heard, we're one of the largest programs already operating in the state. And it's been just an incredible experience to learn how to implement this, to help with the bill development to get to this point. But I think that this is some of the future of where we're headed in high school with creating flexibility and to meet the needs of our families and choice opportunities. So I just wanted to say thank you, Stacy and Holly and all of our team for the development of this program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your work too, because I've heard through the community just how you've met the needs of students that in the old setting, traditionally, they would have just dropped out. So this gave them an alternative. So thank you for being there for them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Morsack, now master planning report.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris, board. I gave Jeff Fisher the night off, so I'm going to do the master planning report. So we'll see how this goes. Actually, I was able to get some updated pictures today. This is Keith Bell Opportunity Central. The bottom right-hand picture is probably my favorite one up there because we got the big second truss up. So they're moving along really well there. Inspiration Way paving is complete, so that goes from north of the roundabout to the west side of the Keith Bell Opportunity Central. They are actually completed with light pole installations, and there is lighting in the parking area there now. Almost all the sidewalks are poured except for the decorative sidewalks closest to the building. They have started on the high roof. Second story roofs are in place. I'll show you a picture of the high roof on this next page. The storm shelter is almost complete, and I have a pretty good picture of the storm shelter for you as well. They have started sheetrock inside, one-sided in some areas, and they've actually had inspections, and they've started two-sided sheetrock on the west side of the building. They put the purple stuff that you see in the top, and then they cover it with gray waterproofing. That's almost completed on the exterior of the building. These are just some updated photos that's showing you the sheetrock on the top left picture. The bottom left picture is the storm shelter. So that's the theater. There's no floor in there, but the walls are almost completed. Top right is just showing you that waterproofing, and then the bottom right is showing you the third floor high roofs that are going in. So it's going to be a little cleaner there pretty soon. Hopefully we can keep some rain out. Mary Lou Dewberry, that's the storm shelter on the top picture there. It is complete, and they have poured the roof of that. The slab is set to pour soon. Those bottom right-hand picture are the columns up in front. Whenever you walk into the main grand entry, there's those big giant columns that hold that area up. That's what's happened down at the bottom. Those are complete. Slab pour is complete. They've started ICF in section, they're done with 1, they're now in area 2 with the ICF, the insulated concrete forms. The area 2 slab pour is complete, so all slab pours are now done. They've begun the elevator shaft, and as I said, those posts are in. There's an elevator shaft in the top right-hand corner, just kind of showing you where they are on that. ICF down at the bottom right. All of the main structural steel is completed, and so they're going to start sheetrock soon there. North Forney High School, there is now a road that connects back behind what will be the freshman center out to Windmill Farms Boulevard. That's that top picture on the right. The elevator shaft is almost complete. That's the picture on the bottom. Pretty much all of the underground electrical and plumbing is done. Most of the drainage is done. Pier caps are going in. Most of the parking is poured. We're just waiting on steel on that project. That bottom one shows you how early they get there. It's a really pretty picture of the sun coming up in the morning. Forney High School, they have not started the elevator shaft there, but all of the grade beam pours are completed in area 1. They've actually started pouring grade beams in area 2. They do have the road back behind the baseball softball field in. It doesn't connect all the way, but you can drive back behind there, back past the band practice field. They're starting the pier cap pour for the connection, and grade beams will start there soon. Waiting on steel there as well. Transportation, the renovation portion should be completed hopefully sometime in January. I get confused with my months. They have double-sided all of the sheetrock. They are working on ceiling inlays. Painting has started. There's the shower and the restrooms are completed. The bottom right-hand corner is the piers for the new building, which gets delivered sometime in January as well. So moving along, we're hoping to be able to move them into the renovation portion of that while we wait on the remainder of the building. And that is a master planning update.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the board? Thank you very much for that update on everything. Moving on to item 8 is public forum. At this time, nobody signed up at the time appointed for that, so we'll move on then to item 9, consent agenda. 9A is consent. 9A, approval minutes of November 10th meeting. 9B is approved minutes from November 17th special call board meeting. 9C, approve the budget amendment. 9D, approve elementary playgrounds. 9E, approve the OC playground. 9F, approve the 24-25 school calendar as a final reading. 9G, approve the EPIC 6 interlocal agreement. 9H, approve the interlocal agreement with Central Texas Purchasing Allowance. And then 9I, approve Huckabee's AIA. 9J, approve of the pre-K waiver. We can take these separately or collectively. Do I have a motion from the board? I have a motion for collectively from Ms. Bateman. Do I have a second? Second. Ms. Burkhalter, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I hear none. Thank you very much. Move on to item 10, consideration and possible approval of attendance zone modification for the 23-24 school year. Ms. Kim Warsack will present.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Just a quick reminder as to why the board rezones. When new schools open, when we have overcrowding at schools, to efficiently utilize space and to ensure every child has a seat. Obviously, this attendance zone modification plan is because we are opening the new Dewberry Elementary, and so we need students to go there. As you know, our process is pretty much what we do every year. We evaluate our current enrollment, look at growth projections, evaluate facilities. You guys set goals on our rezone. Our demographer proposes a draft plan, which you guys saw a little over a month ago. We asked for community feedback. We adjust the plan if needed, and then tonight is our final step of adopting the plan. This is just the timeline that we have followed. We have had a public hearing and a public meeting, community information session. We did have 2 people attend, and we did have 2 questions, but they were all just asking if their address was part of the rezone, and actually none of them were. So we did have 2 people ask about our special populations and special programs, but as you know, that is completely separate from a rezone. So we've had no feedback from anyone regarding the current draft plan. If the board approves the plan tonight, we'll send an email to our parents and our families who are impacted by the attendance zone modification. Then we'll have a vote on the new mascot, and then the teacher transfer process will be in January, February timeline. These are our current elementary boundaries, and just as a reminder, this modification only affects Blackburn, Crosby, and mainly Griffin, which is the largest portion. So the new zone is this light blue portion on the northeast side of your screen. It's reducing a little bit of Blackburn's attendance zone to make more room for the Advanced Academics and Fine Arts Academy. Relieves a little bit of pressure from Crosby and relieves quite a bit of pressure from Griffin. So this is the new attendance zone area. That's pretty much my presentation for this evening. If the board has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. If not, we would ask that the board approve this new attendance zone modification.
Thank you, Ms. Borzak. Have any questions from the board? I believe this is the same map we've seen in previous conversations.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Cherry, do you have any other suggestions?
No, sir. Just to reiterate, we have not had a lot of feedback either way on this, and so tonight we would, administration would recommend going ahead and to approve this, the new boundaries for Dewberry, so that we can get started with our communication and preparing for the opening of that school next year.
So you've heard the recommendations from the administration. Do I have a motion from the board?
President Ferris, I move that the board approve the rezoning changes for the 2023-2024 school year.
Thank you, Ms. Burkhalter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dobbs, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Next is our closed session. We took closed session out of our order earlier tonight, so we will move on then to item 12. Consideration and possible approval regarding the employment of professional contract personnel. Do I have a motion from the board?
Mr. Ferris, I make a motion that the board consider and approve the employment of professional contract personnel.
Thank you, Ms. Bateman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dobbs, thank you very much. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. Moving on to 13. Consider and possible action of employee probationary contract, school nurse, proposed termination of contract, and/or suspension without pay. Do I have a motion from the board?
President Ferris, I move to propose the termination of the probationary contract of Tracy Clay and to propose Ms. Clay for suspension without pay and direct the superintendent to provide Ms. Clay with a written notice of his action.
Thank you, Ms. Burkhalter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Bateman? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. And moving on to 14, consideration and possible action regarding the pursuant of sanctions for educator abandonment of contract. Do I have a motion from the board?
President Ferris, I move the board find that good cause did not exist for Candace Jamone to abandon her contract with Forney ISD and authorize the superintendent to take all necessary steps to report this matter to the State Board of Educators certification for further action.
Thank you, Ms. Dobbs. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Burkhalter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. Next item is our announcements. Dr. Terry, I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you, sir. We do have some fun events coming up that I want to make you aware of. First off, tomorrow, I believe that is 2 o'clock. Is that correct? 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock is a groundbreaking out on the site that we donated land to the Coppin County Sheriff's Department. And so the substation has broken ground, and they'll have their official groundbreaking tomorrow. So you are invited to attend that. Thursday of this week is a really fun event. We've never had one here in Forney. This will be a first, but this is probably the largest building in Forney, and there's a topping out ceremony. Gallagher Construction and Huckabee are hosting, and that will be out at the OC. There'll be a large tent set up just to make sure you should be able to find it. Plenty of parking. This event will go on rain or shine unless it's a massive thunderstorm because they have a huge tent to host the event. And then there will be lunch to follow. So that'll be at 10:30 tomorrow, or Thursday morning. We also have a winter break coming up on December 16th. Just a reminder that Friday we do have staff development. Students will be out that day. I think that's going over real well. Thank you, Ms. Morsack, for that new calendar. And then we get a few weeks off, and so a few fun weeks to close out. A lot of Christmas parties at our campuses, and so just a good way to close out the school year, or the year before we move into Christmas.
Any other questions from the board? Anybody want to prolong this? We can stretch this out if y'all want to.
It's not even 8 o'clock.
Ms. Morzek, do you want to stretch it out to 8 o'clock? Good, sir. Okay, then we'll call it 7:57. We'll be adjourned. Thank you.